Hi, things are not looking so good in the crypto space, and I would like to talk about that because we expected September to be red because the last 6 Septembers were red. Overall, it's a very red month. We only had 3 red Septembers. So far, Bitcoin is green this month. Now, the month is not over yet, but a couple of other things are bleeding, and I'm not talking about your wife who's bitching about that the money is gone. So let me talk about that. Like the video if you like the video. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Welcome. Turn the bell notification on. Check out the Patreon members right there. They're killing it. We have a lot of exclusive content, so there's a link down below for you to check out. Now, Bitcoin is doing well, right? And why is Bitcoin doing well? Well, very simple, because everybody, maybe the narrative for that is that everybody expects an ETF, and well, the ETF is probably coming, and that's of course super bullish news. Don't get me wrong, I'm fucking excited about that, because that really opens a door in the crypto space which hasn't been opened before anytime ever in the crypto space. So we do not know what the result is going to be. Maybe it's not that great. Maybe Bitcoin flies to the moon and beyond. But that's the narrative, right? Now, apart from the narrative, it's also the fact that altcoin money is being put into Bitcoin, okay? People are taking their losses or what's left or maybe some profits and they put it into Bitcoin. And that's the reason why Bitcoin is holding up so far. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's going up. We had a little correction right here, but even that got broken again and we're now on our way up. Now, what stands out to me is something very interesting, because a lot of people, they spoke about, well, you know, the S&P is likely to going to make new highs and then Bitcoin is going to make new highs again as well. And I have, well, 2 counter arguments for why that is not going to happen, at least. Why the S&P is likely a big reason for the crypto market to crash to shit before everything turns really bullish. So I'm totally fine with that because my long-term outlook is bullish. But if we get very bearish first, that's good, because that's where we can step in, right? If we are only bullish, then where do you step in, right? Then you slowly, you make a little profits. But people are talking about the S&P making new highs is bullish for Bitcoin. Well, it's the pre-halving year now for Bitcoin, and the pre-halving year like 2015 and 2019 and now 2023, second half of the year has always been bearish, okay? So far, always. So there's no reason for me to believe that now it's going to be bullish. If we look at Bitcoin in the pre-halving years, you see right here, first half of the year we went up, second half we went down. In 2019 as well, first half of the year we went up, then June, July, August, we went down, right, for the rest of the year. Now, coincidentally, Bitcoin went up for the first half of the year. Second half of the year literally came and we went down, right? Now, people say again, like, yeah, well, when the S&P is making new highs, Bitcoin is going to make new highs as well. Well, 2015, the S&P was also making new highs, but Bitcoin still went down. 2019, S&P also made new highs. Bitcoin still went down, right? Because after these new highs, the S&P corrected right here and right here. And that's what Bitcoin follows. In this pre-halving year, Bitcoin doesn't follow S&P to the upside, but it does follow the S&P to the downside. Second, I don't think we're going to make new highs, right? That's what I said before. We now had a pretty nasty candle on the S&P. I mean, in crypto terms, it's not that much, but a weekly candle on the S&P so far of 3% is a lot. That's really a lot. But what's interesting, if you look at the S&P on the current money supply, then you see this. Right? We spoke about this before, and it's interesting that if we put it on the monthly chart, we'll see that every time we got here, we got rejected and we fell down. This is since 2002, okay? Way before Bitcoin existed. Every time we got here, we fell down really hard, right? We got here again in 2007, we fell down really hard. You know, the big crash, the big notorious crash right there, right? Now, we got there again in 2020, came down really hard. In 2022, came down really hard. And now we are here again. And guess what? We are getting rejected right there. So the S&P is likely not making new highs. Now, again, Bitcoin is holding up pretty decent, right? Even if you look on the monthly chart, you know, we broke this downwards trend. Like, it looks like shit on the monthly chart, but on the weekly, it makes sense. Kind of. I don't know what happened here. We still hold up pretty decent, $26,000 or so. But if you look, for example, at Ethereum, Ethereum is already coming down quite a lot right now, right? Ethereum is now quite red. Well, Bitcoin, meh. If you look at the altcoin market, it was never there, right? There is no, like, it cannot fall down from that point because it was even never at that point. So altcoins are fucking losers, basically, right? Bitcoin had a pump of like 2x. Altcoins did 40%. Like, usually people say, like, well, when Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump harder. Not in this type of market, right? In a bull market, they do. Yeah, definitely. But we can all agree that this is not a bull market yet, right? And altcoins are like, they just have to go down another 11% and they hit their lows. For Bitcoin to do that, it has to go down 42%. So Bitcoin has a lot more room. And therefore, it's quite interesting. If you look at the altcoin market again, the total 3, and you overlay Bitcoin on it, what do you notice? Well, let me first pull it up before you can notice anything, of course. Look, the altcoin market is sitting here right now, right? Basically at the same level as where it was in December. So it hasn't changed for a year. Basically, it's going sideways. What happened in the meantime? Bitcoin went from 16K to 26. So I wonder if Bitcoin goes up quite a lot, right? It's 40% or so. Nah, 30%, something like that. 40. I don't know. It's early. But if Bitcoin moved up that much and the altcoin market did not do shit, then how would the altcoin market look like when Bitcoin is having a correction? Which it always does in the pre-halving years, again. And the S&P is now kind of showing like, okay, this is going to happen, guys. Therefore, I'm so, like, people never like it when I'm bearish on altcoins. But why not? If you love altcoins so much, I guess you want to have a big bag, right? So you can buy them cheap. But your problem is that you already went all in because you watched too much crypto banter. And then you are broke. And that's a problem. Therefore, I've been quite bearish on this channel for the last year, basically. And the chart shows it. We did not have the big altcoin crash yet, right? Some altcoins are down 90%, of course. But that's not enough. That's by far not enough. If you look how the altcoin market came down last time, in last cycle, right? You have to understand, last cycle, it fell 92%, right? This time, we only fell to the bottom 74%. You feel like, man, that's not a big difference. From this point, it is. If we would have fell 92%, it will put us here at a $90 billion market cap instead of the 320 that we are right now. And please know that this includes stables, and stables don't fall that much. So if it's not made by Kucoin, so that means that altcoins overall will fall way more. Right now, we could say like, okay, this area right here could be the target, and it makes sense because we have a lot of support around, you know, around this area right here, this horizontal, right? As you can see, basically the high of 2019. Am I saying that it will get there? Nah, not necessarily, right? I don't think the altcoin market is going to fall that much, because that would mean another 70% move down from here. Overall, I don't think that's going to happen. Are there altcoins that are going to fall 70% from where they are right now? 100% guaranteed, written on paper with my signature on it? Yes, 100%. 70%. 100% that that's going to happen though. And it's very dangerous, therefore, to now be in altcoins. So I do have some altcoins. I'm not going to lie to you. So maybe that makes me a little more comfortable that I don't have the feeling like missing out, right? And if you are having no altcoins at all, you might have that feeling. I must tell you that if I would have had no altcoins, I did way better, right? I would have done way better because, yeah, they're just falling, right? Also, if you look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, what are they doing? They are going down. And that's what we've been talking about. The bear market started here, right? November 2021. Altcoins, however, on their Bitcoin pair were going sideways for a year, right? Although altcoins came down, but that's just because Bitcoin came down. So on their Bitcoin pair, they stayed the same, but because Bitcoin came down, altcoins came down. Now, however, altcoins are going down on their Bitcoin pair, but Bitcoin is going up. So altcoins still kind of stay the same. But now the question is like, okay, what if Bitcoin falls? Then altcoins are doomed because on their Bitcoin pair, yeah, like see, they already lost their major support, which was sitting over here basically, right? This point. This was the last support for altcoins. We had this resistance, support right here, or resistance, a lot of support right here. They lost it. And since then, they fell quite hard. You can see it on the individual altcoin charts. If I look at Bitcoin pairs. Cardano, down very hard. Most of them look like this. Arweave, making new lows as well. AVAX, making new lows. Dogecoin, sitting at the lows. DOT, making new lows. Ethereum, making new lows for a year as well. Gala, making new lows. Games for a living, mooning. Okay, I have to give it to you. But does that change anything? No, there are exceptions. But overall, the chart looks like this. This includes every altcoin, right? And there are always exceptions, and people will always come to me with these exceptions like, yeah, no, you're wrong, because look at this altcoin. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, can't argue with that, I guess. Illuvium, down. IMX, down. Had a nice spike, but still it came from a low. Jasmy, down. Link, down. Litecoin, down since, well, basically ever. It sucks. Matic, sitting at the lows right now. And it's like it can juice another push up with the Bitcoin dominance, because then Matic is going absolutely to the trash can and beyond. Volker Forged just came from new lows. Quant is one of those that's holding up pretty decent, but still from where it went to where it is right now, down 70%. Seedify, down. Solana, down. I can go on. You get the point. And you can say that this is a list with only trash coins or this is the general market. Again, this is how it looks like, right? So altcoins are losing from Bitcoin. That's very clear. So you would have been way better off if you were in Bitcoin. Fine. In hindsight, well, in hindsight, we talked about that for a while, but fine. They're losing from Bitcoin. So what? Well, what if, that's just what I'm thinking. I'm just speaking out loud here. What if, just what if Bitcoin does what it does always? Well, that's going down second half of the pre-halving year. So if all these altcoins are losing from Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not also going down, yeah, again, how do you think altcoins are going to look on their dollar pair? And that's where you can change your life. This is not bearish at all. Why? Sometimes people say like, why is it negative? Why is it so bearish? This is the most bullish thing ever, right? It depends on your perspective, right? Because, again, look at Solana. Are you going to get rich with Solana at this point? No, probably not. But what if Solana, again, falls on its Bitcoin pair and it makes a new low towards this point, give or take, right? Which is down, oh, it was here. Another like 50% or so, right? Could easily happen. That's big support. Cool. The Solana against Bitcoin is down, let's say 50%. So Solana, if Bitcoin stays the same on the dollar pair, goes towards $10. But then what if Bitcoin has its usual correction? That could bring, in this case, for example, Solana all the way down to $4. And people feel like, Solana at $4, not gonna happen. Welcome to crypto. This shit happens. This, you don't expect it, and that's why it happens, right? that like, yes. I'm not saying it will. I don't know. But it could. And therefore, this is super bullish. Because if the price goes down because of the complete market and what I've just showed you, it has nothing to do with the fact that Solana is all of a sudden a worse product. It says that Solana is the same, or maybe even better by then, but that the price is 4 times as fucking cheap, right? So let's say, I'm not saying it will though, but let's say it goes back to its all-time high. And you are now so bullish on Solana and it cannot go down because insert reason. So you buy it. You make a 13x. Not bad. Definitely not bad. For sure. But what if before this all happens, it goes here to $4 and then it goes back to its all-time high? Forget about your 13x. This is a 58x. That's the big difference that could change your life really, right? This is what could make you rich. A 13x will make you rich. I don't know, maybe. But closer to a 60, oh, that's good. Therefore, it's so bullish. It's only bearish if you are not prepared and if you are already all in or don't have any money anymore. Therefore, I've been preaching this for so long. And so far it's playing out, right? Again, Volker Forge as well. People love Volker Forge. Great news coming out. What did it do? It went to the upper side of the range. It got a big fat ass rejection and it's now sitting at the lower side of the range again. Did nothing else than that. People were too smart to buy the news because now it was finally time. Forget about it. Good news in this type of market doesn't have any effect. I talked about it before. Ripple, the XRP army, said that Ripple, well, wait until we win the lawsuit. Ripple going to, you had the craziest price predictions for XRP. All these idiots talking about $100 or even more than that. Like, don't smoke weed on an empty stomach. That's just, I'm saying that as a Dutch guy. Then you have to listen to that. If I'm saying that, right? But they won the lawsuit. Huge news. Finally, this was going to change crypto. This was going to make the XRP holders absolutely rich. And what happened? We are at the same level as where we were right before that news. Nothing happened. It was just a fucking pump and dump. That's it. So even this was huge news. But even this huge news didn't do shit. Therefore, don't rely on altcoin news. Like, oh, this altcoin is going to do that and then it's going to break out. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. Okay? It does not matter. Right? Your favorite altcoin can do whatever it wants. But it's not going to do anything with the price. If Ripple cannot do it, right? It's the market that has to play out. It's just you that has to admit, like, okay, shit, I have to going to be patient right here. Because there is no liquidity in the market. There is no liquidity. New motherfucking trading view. I just wanted to show a chart. Look. This is the liquidity. The net liquidity. And it's going down, 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 down. Right? If this is going down, then where is the money coming from to pump the market? Nowhere. Right? No, absolutely nowhere. If you look at Bitcoin again, it's doing quite fine, right? Liquidity goes down, Bitcoin goes up. That's nice. If you look at the altcoin market, liquidity goes down, altcoin market goes down. Right? So all the liquidity there is, it gets taken out of altcoins. You see it right here on the screen and it gets put into Bitcoin. That's what you can also confirm by looking at the altcoins on their Bitcoin pair. And that's what you can also confirm by looking at the Bitcoin dominance, which is currently in a super strong uptrend. And yet there are people that keep throwing money into altcoins, feeding their little liquidity. So other people take it out and put it into something else. Stop offering yourself as exit liquidity. This is not the time. Altcoins will make you rich if you play it well. And I'm going to talk a lot about buying altcoins and the best altcoins, but when the right time comes, right? Timing is key, right? You can be a super great person who makes great jokes about whatever. Like, you're so funny, you always get the attention of the room and everybody loves that. But when somebody is speaking at a funeral about his dead grandmother, it's not the right time, right? It's weird ass metaphor. I know. But everything is timing related. Now, as you can see, for the last year, it's not time for altcoins. You got fucked up, wiped out. People keep on saying, but now it is. Just dollar cost. What did it do so far? Nothing, right? Best case scenario, dollar costing made you play even. But the problem is that, again, because dollar costing when something is going sideways is not bad. But the problem is, if you look at this chart, this is not going sideways. You have been throwing your money in altcoins which are worth less against Bitcoin. Right? So one, you did not only miss out on this run, you could have doubled your bag basically. But two, this could have been your dry powder to buy these altcoins when they are bottoming out. But when that happens, we don't know. Not now, at least. Altcoins are not bottoming out. Altcoins are going down. That's what we have seen. And this is the big leader. This is the big responsibility of all disaster. Fucking Ethereum. Why do I say that? Well, Ethereum is, of course, the biggest altcoin out there. And a lot of alts are also paired with Ethereum, and on their Ethereum pair they are also not doing so well. But you see that Ethereum is the prime example of a market cycle, right? What do you see on this chart? This Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, for the ones that did not seen that, with a beautiful accumulation phase, with a major uptrend. And now what we have is a big distribution phase. And what comes after a distribution phase? A downtrend before we enter an accumulation phase. Some people see this as an accumulation phase for some reason. That's the same as buying it here. Why would you? If it's pretty likely that this is going to follow. But there are always people that say, nah, this time is different. Why? What? I don't see it. And now I'm bitching about altcoins again. I'm whining about altcoins, about not buying it. And yeah, we should have done that. You should still do that. It's not like, at least if you want to be in the market, buy Bitcoin. So that's my strategy. I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm DCAing into Bitcoin every Monday or Tuesday, which is doing fine. Could it go down? Yes. But so what? I'm dollar costing. Difference between Bitcoin and altcoins is we know that Bitcoin is here to stay, as far as you know something, right? But compared to altcoins, Bitcoin is. You don't even know if Ethereum is here to stay. And that's the safest altcoin by far. So you can dollar cost into an altcoin when you don't know if it survives, to don't know if it does, you don't know how low it goes. Right? So if I just buy Bitcoin, then once the altcoin market bottoms out against Bitcoin somewhere, then I can buy these altcoins with my Bitcoin. By that time, I can buy the lower range, right? The bottom range, not the bottom again, the bottom range. But two, also, by this time, we know, like, hey, these altcoins survived. If it still goes down, yeah, you don't know, right? Some people, they like to buy charts, and I'm not going to show you Moonbeam as an example again, as some people are, I don't know, getting offended by that because it goes down too hard. But again, AVAX, for example. How many? I don't know when I've drawn this line, but look where it's going. I can pretty much guarantee you that we're going to touch this in a matter of maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe a month. We will. So why would you buy AVAX even if it was holding on its dollar pair. If it goes down against Bitcoin. That goes for every altcoin. If it goes down against Bitcoin, then why would you buy it? There's no reason. Because buying an altcoin is more risk than buying Bitcoin. But if it's going down against Bitcoin, it means Bitcoin has more return as well. So you're taking more risk for less reward. Yeah, it's just stupid. It's a very repetitive message, I know. But it's playing out. And every time the market looks like this, well, once in a while, I'd like to just, you know, I don't know, let people know about it. Like, people were really bullish on Phantom. Phantom had a big run. I myself also felt like, ooh, I had Phantom a long time. And I eventually sold it somewhere. And it had a run of 4x. And I felt like, ooh, wow, damn, shit. Kind of missed out on that run. And now look where it is. It is sitting at the bottom. Right, it's sitting at basically major support, right? Resistance, support. So you could say like, oh, it's a strong support. I don't know, man. Look, on its Bitcoin pair, it already broke down. So all it takes is now for Bitcoin to go down a little bit and Phantom is fucked. That is what takes these altcoins off of their support. Because back here in November 2022, this was where Phantom was sitting on its Bitcoin pair. So it had the room to go down, right? It had that room. Didn't matter. Now, it hasn't, because now if it goes down on its Bitcoin pair, probably goes down another 26%. Not to mention what happens if Bitcoin goes down on its dollar pair as well. Then it's buy Phantom, right? Then you can maybe say that you can buy Phantom at 5 cents. Which is, by the way, not a bad buy. If that happens, and if it's still around back then, because I do think chain is kind of fucked up lately, but yeah. But yeah, again, I'm gonna show it. Moonbeam as well. Like, this is an example of a chart you do not want to touch at all, because it's very clear. Because even on its dollar pair, it's been making, well, lower lows since like a long time. Can you imagine how it looks on its Bitcoin pair? Absolutely, it's even like lower than what's over here almost. It's fucked up. And a lot of altcoins, they don't look like that. They do have some room. HBAR still has some room on its dollar pair. If we look on its Bitcoin pair, it still has some room as well, right? So this one is slightly stronger, but even, you know, in this cycle, yeah, it came from here and it's now all the way down here. So even the very beautiful, great popular HBAR, yeah, it is down 87% against Bitcoin, which is also down 60%. And a lot of coins look like that. And yeah, you can take Caspa as an example, again, for, you know, as an altcoin that you could say like, okay, this one is doing something completely different. Yeah, it is, definitely. But is that a reason to buy it? If you bought it here, then fucking congratulations, man. Awesome, sweet. I'm a little jealous, to be honest. Yeah, 100%. But I'm having my cash. I'm waiting for these altcoins to bottom out to really buy a low price. So they have a lot of potential to go up. And instead, people buy the fucking all-time high of something. Right? This will probably do very well in the bull market. Don't mind that. But, you know, altcoins that will survive from how low they are sitting, they have way more upside potential than something that's already sitting at an all-time high. I don't know what the fuck this is. So Render, also an altcoin that's being quite exceptional. And if you look on its Bitcoin pair, it's doing very well. Render, also exception. But again, like also Rune, big pump. But still, what did this pump do? It was just a lower high. High, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. Overall, the altcoin market is looking quite terrible. Very terrible. And my overall message is, maybe I should be a little more clear. My overall message is, save some cash in case everything really goes to shit, because that's the entry that could change your life. That's maybe what I want to give to you in this video. So guys, please, if you like it, just, you know, like it. If you don't like it anyway. You know, won't hurt you. Hi. See you guys.